Giant Cup 2018 are live. We have the qualifiers already over. We have top 32 in the pro bracket. A player who has been in France before and have a history with France is the man next to me. So we cannot start anywhere else but to say, how was the flight?
The flight actually was not one of my issues I was expecting. I mean, managed to get to France no problem. Only problem I had getting in France, my internet went down. So the taxi to France, actually getting to Paris, was a pain in the ass, shall we say.
It's never easy.
Never easy, no, no. France has always got some surprises in store for me, and they're not always very nice.
But you now you're here. What is your first impression of Giant Cup?
Giant Cup is really nice compared to Gamers Assembly. There's like nearly double the actual Trackmania people here, and I'm liking it. I'm liking being around a lot of Trackmania people. You know, there's not like CS:GO people screaming their heads off behind me. You know what I mean? And like, there's a lot of people here because it's more of a casual tournament. There's a lot of people here who wouldn't be normally at the GA and such. So it's nice to see a wider mix than just the pro players and the Frenchies that keep turning up. Nothing is wrong with our Frenchies, of course.
And so far we have had the two stages. It's the qualifiers where everybody was playing. How was it for you?
The first qualifier was a disaster. I got through the first map kind of okay. Then the second one, I had to respawn once, which I didn't realise the CP was actually backwards, and I was driving the wrong way down the track for about 5 or 10 seconds. Cut that round out, and then I think towards the end of that map, my screen just went black, and I was like, oh. Uh-oh. And then I get a message saying, oh, your graphics card is disconnected. I was like, oh no. I was at this point I was thinking I had to get top 16, and I looked in the scoreboard and I connected back and I was like 41st or something, and I was like, oh no. I went through like top 10 every round apart from one at the end, and I still didn't get it, and then someone said, oh, you only need top 30, and I'm just oh, the second one equally as nerve-wracking. I had to get top 32, and I was kind of hovering about the edge for a while, and it's annoying because I know I can do better, but it's just a case of actually doing better. But we've still got more stages to go.
Yeah, you're in it. You're in the top 32. What do you see from here? How far do you want to go?
Well, I want to see if I can get a comparable result to Gamers Assembly. I got top 16 at Gamers Assembly, despite all the crap that went wrong there. So we'll see. We'll see how we perform in the 1v1 and such, and how other people are performing. But at the moment, I'd say top 24, top 16 is my goal. But on the performances of the qualifier, I'm not so sure. We'll see.
You are one of the players for Trackmania Pro League, now called the Trackmania World Cup. You posted something on Twitter that your motivation was sort of going down because you didn't perform as you wanted. How has this sort of motivation affected your training for Giant Cup?
Well, it has been a bit hard because, first of all, my motivation dropped a lot for TMPL, which meant that I didn't, because TMPL wasn't going so well, I had to put more and more time into it, which meant the Giants Cup had to take even more of a back seat. So that after the TMPL finished, it was maybe 2 weeks before Giant Cup, and for a LAN, you want to be preparing a lot in advance. And then obviously TMPL didn't end so well for me. I went out pretty early, and it wasn't in the best of fashion, big mistakes and such. So to the point where I needed a kind of half a week to reset before I actually get back into the Giants Cup kind of frame of mind, so to speak. So not as much training as a result of losing motivation has kind of affected me for Giants Cup, but I did still put in a reasonable amount, so it's not been that bad. But mentally, I've not been all there for a while, so we'll see.
Are you going to try to qualify for open qualifiers for World Cup?
Keyword try. I'll do my best. I've not tried the newest map yet, and I've not tried any of the other maps of the qualifiers, but Havana and Odyssey, if I remember right, they were two of my good maps. I was feeling okay on the Nevermind's map, Spectrum, I think it's called, and the other one, like I said, I know it's by Scottie, and that's about it. But we'll see. I'll show up. I'll do my best as always. But whether the result will come or not, well, I don't know. There's quite a few tough faces that are going to be there. I think I might need to start going breaking some equipment upstairs just to get some of my opponents out of the way. We'll see.
But yeah, this Giant Cup has no finalist mode. Is this an advantage for you, or would you call it a disadvantage?
It's hard to say. I mean, I only knew about it a few days ago. I mean, I must admit I didn't read too much about the rules before, but it's a bit weird because, especially at GA, because TMPL was a disaster anyway, but GA, I had matches where I was finalist, either first or second, and I struggled to close them out. However, the match that I did get, the last match before the top 16, I had to do a finalist comeback against Angelo. So it's kind of, I'm not sure if it's an advantage for me or a disadvantage. I think it mostly depends on who I'm going to be playing against and, as always, how I'll actually perform on the track. So we'll see.
I do a lot of preview shows and recap shows with you. Let's do one now. Who's going to win this event and who's going to go to the grand final? What do you see?
Oh, it's a tough one because TMPL's had quite a big effect on this that maybe not a lot of people realise because, obviously, me, as I was saying earlier, I've not had as much time to be going in Giants Cup as I would normally prepare for a LAN, and you look at all of these top names that you can mention, Pac, Omniports, Roa, so on and so forth, they've all been preoccupied with TMPL, so they've not had as much time to train. For example, speaking to likes of Massa and Spam, they've trained less than I have, and that's not really as common a thing I've heard. So it's interesting to see if these kind of outliers, players like Kappa, players like McQuattro, Razor, how they're going to perform because they've had this time, they've not had TMPL to worry about. Kappa, of course, with open qualifiers, but my final, I would say one or two of the Sampa guys, I'm saying Kappa's got a very good chance, but I think first's going to be taken by Pac. Second place, I think one of the Sampa boys will get second, be it Kappa or Tween. I think third place, I'm expecting maybe Massa, I'm not sure. And fourth place, either an E-Corp or Dutchy, I think, possibly. Not sure. That's excluding me, of course. But yeah, that's my conservative pick for the top four.
Last thing for me, how does it feel to represent M&M Gaming here? You're sort of the only guy, if I'm correct.
Well, I've got a nice fancy shirt now. I've got my first team shirt, which felt really nice to be, because when I was going to LANs before, I'm seeing everyone with their shirts and their names in the back of it, and that was always something I wanted. And I've got that, and it feels good to be representing and stuff like that. We do have two other guys from the academy team, Buzzy and Mixmod. Mixmod's going with me into the pro bracket, so it was nice because it was the first time I've actually met them as well, albeit I've been speaking to especially Buzzy for a really long time. But it's nice to be part of a team that's supporting me going forward as well, as of course when I was in A&E they weren't really a professional organisation, so to speak, not really focused on the competitive side of things. So it's nice to have guys that I know are watching the stream as well and they're wanting to see me do well, rather than just people who are a bit more indifferent to it. So it's a better attitude that I'm feeling in the team, which is making me feel better as a player.
Thank you so much for doing this, and good luck in the future. Let's get top 16 at least, maybe top 8.
Yeah, we'll see. I might need it.
Thank you so much, man.